te nehe nehe nui, te mana manya poto, mai te taira whiti e. Whata te whatitiri, hiko hiko te uira, e kanapa ki runga, te whitira rora, uia mai koe a e tama. Nā wai te rapere, mā wai te rapere, hei aha te rapere e. E ngā mana, e ngā rangatira, tēnā koutou katoa. He mihi tuatahi ki te mana whenua o Ngāti Mania Poto, tēnā koutou. He mihi tuarua ki taku āriki nui a ngā waihono i te pō. Kua tai mai ngā uri o te whanaapuni me Ngāti Parau, o tira ko te Raukūmara te ngāhere. Before I hand it over to the beautiful Ora Barlow, I just want to introduce somebody that's very special to me. He's been in this kaupapa since Mairano way before me, so I think it's only right that I hand the rākau over to him. So I'm going to sit down with my kaimahi. This is my dad, Uramu Wharepapa.
Kia ora Rangitahi. Tēnei, te tamahine. Kia ora tātou, te whare tūnei e heka mā. Ngā mihi e te kuini ngā waihono i te pō, ko Uramu Wharepapa hau. I noho i ngā uri o te whānau apunei me te whakatōhea, me Ngāti Parau, i ngā waka o mātātua me tauira mai tāwhiti me Horauta. Yeah, so, kua tā mai koutou. Kei te nervous a hau. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're just going to crack into it now then. That was 3 minutes of our time. Hey, we wanted to start a little bit of our te kia Māui, and you can sort of see this incredible dark green. That's all that's left of our biodiversity, our native forest in the North Island. And the Raukūmara is right up on that eastern right-hand side there. Raukūmara, Waiweka, our whānau from Waiweka, Tueruera, Maunga Taniwha, Omataroa, sorry, just before there, cousin Ian. And then we go down to the Kāweka, the Kaimanawa, Tongariro, Puriora. So this incredible large contiguous line of native forest. And it's the last of the Mohican in the North Island. This little picture, just to sort of show you where the Raukūmara is, and that lovely little scribble there that wasn't done by our tamariki, but it's just to keep that in mind that that's where we work. And all of that, what's coloured in there at the moment, is part of the Raukūmara. Oh, hang on. Not doing our videos. Nope. We need a little bit of technical help here. Oh, there we are. Ka pai. So this is the majestic, the rugged, the incredible Raukūmara. It's steep, it's rugged terrain.
And it's not working.
And it's across subalpine down to lowland forest. Our highest Maunga hikurangi is approximately about 1,700 metres. Next door to that, Whanakau, 1,600. In sort of comparison, Tongariro is 1,900. Ruapehu is 2,700. So those tipuna are right up there across our country. Raukūmara is full of catchment. It is like this vein of water that runs through all of this country and through all of this land. But what we also have...
This is clippings from our Ngāti Parau whānau. So unfortunately, Lisa, they've got to live through this. You know, these are all the dust storms that are down there at the moment. So when our whānau down in Ruatoria and other places on the East Coast, they can't hang their washing out, or they've got to cover up their water tanks and all their fresh water is just, it's a mess. So all that stuff there that's coming off the Raukūmara is just sediment that's been dried and settled. So many a times we've gone, the Raukūmara is the spinal cord in between Whānau and Ngāti Porou. So on one side of the Raukūmara is our side, it's more sort of the damp side of the forest. On the Ngāti Porou side, it's more the sun rises early, so it's the hardened side of the Raukūmara. So therefore, when the sun comes out and after big floods, all the mud, all the slash and the mud that comes down, and it only takes about, say, 3 to 4 days, and it dries out. And then you've got your winds that come in, whether it's be from the south or the easterly winds that come in, and they just kick up dust storms. And when you're going around Tiki, you can't even see Ruatoria. So that's, you imagine that our people have to live and get used to living amongst that.
The problem too is that there's so much coming down the Waipu. The Waipu is probably the largest sedimented river in the southern hemisphere and is one of the top 5 in the whole of the world. And so it rises now over a metre, just the riverbed alone. So now they're having a problem that when it goes into this extreme flood event, that it's flooding our bridges as well. So on the sides of the bank, it used to be probably about 7 or 8 or so years ago, 8 metres was being carved away. Now it's 22 metres. So it's a real threat to people and place. On the Whānau side, you have this this problem with this. There you go.
So that's after a pristine day in the Ngāhere. So that was most probably about that deep, and in about, say, I don't know, you're looking at maybe 8 hours to about 10 hours of rain non-stop, and it's just gone bank to bank. The funny thing in Whānau is we place bets onto how much land we're going to use in that month. So we watch all our whenua get washed out to sea, Hauriki Whakaari, Hauriki to Ranfurly Banks, Ngāti Porou, they've given up betting because they've just about lost everything. So
36
Momo
tonnes.
Taima, so, and there's a block of land just below where I live, and I placed the bet with my nephew. I said, that place will be gone within a month. And we were raised on that whenua, and it's something like about 3 acres of land. Woke up in the morning and it was all gone. So, yeah, so it's
So this is our navigating murky waters. And the beautiful thing about our why, though, is that it's telling us a story. And what we've been hearing over the last couple of days is that everybody's why is telling a story. Well, this is the story that we had to understand, the scale of the problem. Part of the work that our people are doing and understanding is going into the belly of the Raukūmara to see where the sediment is coming from. And it's actually coming on the Ngāpuanu side predominantly from the native forest. On the Ngāti Porou side, yes, developed large farm stations, there is pine forest and degraded native forest. And so what you're seeing here is just one of hundreds of slips that are unable to heal itself, to heal herself. And this korowai and the dignity of Papa Tuanuku has been stripped. On the left-hand side, you see the Google map, and on the right-hand side is the actual picture of another really massive slip in the area.
So the problem with this is if you see below that slip, it creates like lakes. The next rain, when that comes down, that lake's going to break, and it's going to run down the river, and it's going to hit another lake. And it's going to run down the river and hit another lake. And by the time it gets to our rivers, it's travelling at 100 miles an hour non-stoppable. So when it hits the moana, it's taking everything in its path.
And so as our people searched for what was the problem, and they hikoied through the Raukūmara, what you see here is severe browsing by deer and goat, wild cattle. So you have no canopy story, you have no understory, you have no emergent story of those tipu, you have no forest floor story. That's the Raukūmara story.
And if you haven't been in there, you have no idea, because that place is a mess. So the possums are eating the trees from the top down, and the deer are eating everything on the bottom up. So we're in a no-win situation, eh, Ora?
Well,
Well, we've got a pill.
yeah. We
It's
have
coming.
some success.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The Raukūmara only had deer from about the 1950s. There are other forests, Kāweka, Kaimanawa, that had deer much earlier, had possum much earlier than what we did. And so once you see it, you can't unsee it, what's going on in our forests. Just a little bit of geeky fun fact. East Coast produces the highest sediment in New Zealand, in Aotearoa. So you have the Waipu and all of her tributaries, Whangapraoa, Raukōkere and the Motu, another really big sediment yielding rivers. And some of the work that we did with Niwa, they said that if your forest is healthy, it holds 30 to 50% more sediment than an unhealthy forest. So we have the antidote in our hands. And imagine if it was 30 to 50% less impact on Cyclone Gabriel. Imagine how many lives, how many livelihoods would have been saved, how many homes would have been saved if our forest had been healthy. So part of this huge mammoth piece of work took quite a number of years. And look, we're standing on the shoulders of many, many taiao giants, and now both of our iwi that have been doing this mahi for a long time. But when we concentrated on our wānanga with our whānau, there were 4 key things that came out of that. They wanted everything brought back, like everything. That's our Māori thing, te ao tūroa, everything needs to come back. The whole rohe, because we are impacted by everything who we are, our people doing the work, and getting the right value, which was, what does the forest need? And so the secret weapon was the Raukūmara Pai Maunga. And this is just a picture of our data dashboard. And data is like intrinsic, as we've heard over the last few days, to understanding the effort to impact. And so what we have is a deer culling machine of aerial and deer colours. That's all there's whānau down here. Aerial colours, deer colours. We have aerial 1080, we'll have a kōrero about that. We have a massive engagement team. We do a lot of datering. Our team are in and out, helicopter in, because they don't go there by car, they have to heli in. And we have, just a massive amount of data that we have to understand what we're doing is making the impact so that we can report that back to our people. So here's a little bit of a video of a day in the life of our aerial colours. There's Benny, Luke,
Caleb Wharepapa. He's sitting down here if you want to go and get a signature. These are all Māori, young Māori. Highly qualified, higher than Doc. Yeah.
Now, our boys now have trained to a level 4, and that's kind of the highest level that you can get to in terms of being able to do this kind of work. And this is the kind of backyard that they're working in. There's no way you're going to put a trap on that.
So don't come and ask for a trapping job.
Severe erosion. And we had to deal too with our hearts and minds about what we were about, because people would see this and go, oh, Maumokai, are you doing deer recovery? No. It's not about our puku.
Don't ask us about the kai. The answer is no. We don't do it.
No.
We've got to put the ngahere at the forefront of our minds.
And that's right. You know, the thing is that the thing that is really getting eaten is our forest. So you can see that a beast that doesn't belong in our forest.
You can see that slip there, that slip right there. That slip's trying to heal. You can see the greenery on the side of it. We removed the pest that'll come back eventually. Unfortunately, we just got to get rid of all the kutus that are in there. We have nothing against them. They just don't have a place in our Raukūmara. They don't whakapapa to our Raukūmara. You need to find somewhere else to go.
Hey, just to mention on the railway tracks, I mean, I know you guys understand railway tracks, but see up the top there, you've got the railroad track of the deer, those sort of horizontal
And
lines
those are all
up there.
tracks going across, day in and day out.
We're running out of time, but we just wanted to show you this one here.
My favourite.
This is aerial 1080. This is the helis coming in. Hey, look, massive wānanga. We were absolutely anti-1080, and now we'll have it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And that's the journey of understanding and education, and we all know what the value of that is and what that looks
If you
like.
can imagine our people, our tipunas, weeding their kumara gardens, 3 aerocoil helicopters flying above them with 400 tonne of 1080, you can only imagine what they're thinking. Unfortunately, she needs chemo, and we've given it to her. It's been a lot of dark places, a lot of hard trips, and a lot of pushbacks. But it is what it is.
A lot of water monitoring. 1080 was that sort of kōrero of does it work and is it safe? Yes and yes. And we did the monitoring to prove that. And we visited the forest to ask about it before we embarked on this journey. We'll just keep on coming. That's our crew, our land operation crew, going in to do their monitoring. Again, going into on a helicopter, being dropped off, for the week, and they're in the bush understanding the kind of plants that are still within the Raukūmara. That's our Divinia Attenborough, that one in the bright orange there.
Dora. Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. And here's one of our giants, whose papa was in the taiao, and now they're his daughters. And that's what succession
And we all come
is.
off that line,
Tag in because you don't want to get lost.
All Māori, all whakapapa te whānau apanui a Ngāti Porou.
Papa Heath.
Yeah. Papa Heath.
Campsite, not exactly
Yeah,
the
no
Hilton.
huts.
Or the Ritz, yeah.
No huts. Yeah.
So this is us. This is our operational area, 120,000 approximately, area of aerial 1080. Approximately about 80,000 hectares of deer and goat control, 3,000 hectares of trapping, intensive managed sites, monitoring sites, those little rectangular boxes. We've got 3 hubs and offices. We employ 29 to 35 people of our whānau in this project. And last but not least.
And we take our people inside the belly of her, take her into the umbilical cord of our kuia, take her through the channels, show her all her waterways to our tamariki. And we take all this footage home and show our people. Ka mutu ngā kōrero, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
e te paki anō, te piki paki.